Hey, how you guys doing? This is producer from Brothers Comics. Welcome to the Who Dey Over 40 podcast for long-suffering Cincinnati Bengals fans. Who day, everybody. The Bengals set out to do what they said they were going to do to fix their offensive line. We're going to talk about that tonight by signing a tier one free agent in Lyell Collins on the line tonight. It's Big Hutch. Big Hutch, what's happening?
Hello, all you happy people.
Yeah, we finna argue tonight because you're the one that's saying that this doesn't matter. I'm gonna take my headphones out because they're not really working. Can you still hear me?
Very well. Even better, I
Okay.
think.
Well, I'm gonna pick up the
Ambiance.
turn that fan off. All right, sorry. Um we're gonna argue tonight because you're saying that the offensive line, it matters, obviously, but maybe not. The Collins is not that big deal, but we're gonna get into that in a minute. Shouts out Sandman, brother. We miss you, we love you. Keep getting better. Hope to have you on here as soon as possible. But yeah. So after the podcast we had the other night, and our subtitle tonight is New Offensive Line. After the podcast the other night, there was this thing about Lyell Collins. You know, he finally got cut by the Cowboys. Was he going to sign with Cincinnati? He was in town for the deal. They were trying to close the deal. They couldn't close the deal. It looked like he was going to get out of town on Sunday, but lo and behold, last second, the Bengals don't let him get on that plane to get out of town. Allegedly, he was on his way to New England or possibly to the Panthers to have a visit. The Bengals closed the deal, 3 years, essentially $20 million. This is pretty much kind of what he was making, actually a little bit less than what he was going to make from Dallas this year. Bengals closed the deal, get a tier one free agent, right tackle, almost elite status. Hutch, how can you be upset with this?
I'm not upset with it, but
Okay.
but there's no. We're in Missouri now. You got to show me at this point. So
Yeah, I understood.
yeah, yeah, alignment are great. The most people on the field are linemen, and we need can these guys get us a third and one and a fourth and one? I am all for it. Yippee hooray! But
Yeah.
we're still 4 months out from them doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation here. But yeah, like I mean, they really looked at what gave up what I think with the Super Bowl at 79 sacks or some ridiculous number of sacks.
Right.
So we get that. They obviously know there's a problem. They decide to revamp essentially the whole thing at this point, only bringing back Jonah Williams. You know, they signed Karras for center, they signed Kappa for right guard, now Lyell Collins to right tackle, you know, leaving the spot here at, you know, left guard, which we'll talk about here momentarily. But I mean, they set out, they got two dudes with 3 Super Bowl rings in between them, all pro right tackle. I mean, I don't really know how much it could have gone better.
They sound great. I'm looking at their Madden ratings right now. Yes, Mr. Collins is the highest ranked dude. He's got an 87 overall or something. Like, whoa, that'd be great. Yeah. The right tackle.
Right.
But and all these guys. I'm looking at all these guys' stats, and they're all better than what the blankers they're getting rid of, which is amen to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is a big deal for two Joes. The first one, Joe Mixon. This is a huge deal. Joe Mixon has run behind he's been there, 6 years? He has run behind the shittiest offensive line and has led the AFC in rushing twice. I mean, how does that even happen? What, did he have 13 touchdowns last year behind that shitty line?
He did have 13 touchdowns.
Come on, man. Like, he has never run behind a line this good. Not even half as good, to be honest with
you. It sounds great on paper, and hopefully on paper it translates to the real world, and nobody gets injured and all them things. But yes, hopefully this should be a great offensive line. Great, should be at least a good offensive line, and that hopefully that will take us to where we need to go and stay.
Think about it like this: if these dudes hold up and play to their level of ability that they have been playing on the other teams. There won't be that many. I mean, you can keep 3-step drops in there, but you won't have to do 3-step drops. You could do 5-step drops. Hell, you might even be able to do a 7-step drop. Joe
Whoa.
Burrow, I mean, that's if they're just good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the middle of the field is now open. It's open because you can drop back 5 steps and wait for a route to develop, not having to step on 3 and throw. You know, I mean, this to me, barring injury, barring somebody got some money and he just sucks now, barring anything like that is just, I mean, Joe Burrow has to be jumping up and down. The story is that he really did a good job of closing out that deal and making sure that, you know, Lyell didn't get out of town. You know, he had over, you know, Kappa, Karis and their wives and girlfriends at his house with his girlfriend. He had Lyell Collins there. He had some other linemen there. You know, hey man, like we want you here. We want you to be a part of this. Close that deal on Saturday night, you know, to make sure that it happened. And he didn't get out. So he's here. I think the line he said was, hey, you know, you ain't got to worry about nobody, you know, your bodyguards in town. Ain't nobody gonna touch you. I'll take that.
If he's if he plays like an 87 on Madden in real life, I am in. I'm all in. I'm all in. And right, if he can take that 70 sacks down or 51 or 2 in the regular season, you take that down to half, that would be great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, half would be good. You
Half
know,
would be awesome.
half would be good. And I mean, again, I think with Burrow, you're always going to get probably more sacks than you should because his abilities are want to extend plays. So he's going to create sacks for himself. But if you got the 40 sacks, which is normal, like I'm good. Like you'll take that all day, every day. Like absolutely. So yeah, just that this is a big deal for the Bengals. That's a tier 1 right tackle free agent that they got, that they wanted. And Frank Pollock wanted him. Clearly he wanted to be here as well, or at least the money was right. The LSU connection, whatever it was, he's here. Let's effing go.
Yeah, well, great Negro spiritual. We will see.
Do you remember his story as to why he was undrafted?
I do not.
Okay. So it was right before he was at LSU, obviously turnaround, first round talent all the time. And then like maybe a week or so before the draft, a girl that he was dating got murdered. And her child, he was like 21. Her child at the time like said his name. And he, you know, the police was like wanting to talk to him. And this is like 2 days before the draft. And so now like, wait a minute, this dude that's a first round talent has a murder potential charge hanging over his head. So obviously it scared everybody off. And then after he got like to the 3rd round, he just told people, you know, don't draft him. You know, he's just going to pick where he signed. And that's how he winds up in Dallas. You know, he's undrafted. First round talent, but undrafted.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear the story, and I'm glad we got him. Hopefully this all works out for us and the Bengals. But our AFC just got a little bit harder. Even we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Let's get to now in the God forbid somebody gets injured category. But at least now, like your 2nd-year players, well, maybe Jackson Carman winds up starting at left guard. It seems like that is the momentum shift. Or maybe they bring back, Quentin Spain to play left guard, or bringing back for a depth piece or whatever. But then what you got, Adeniji backing up now. You know, Fred Prince was signed, cut, and re-signed again today. Or not Prince, Fred Johnson. You know, you got Prince out there. Like, I mean, those dudes are really quality, capable backups if you don't have to play them for too long. They got a lot of experience, obviously, last year. I mean, so you feel good about the depth piece. So now when you look at the draft, Hutch, the Bengals might not draft a lineman for a minute, especially if they bring back Quentin Spain.
You probably can't have if you think you can get a good lineman, maybe in the second, but late gonna be late second, unless you're going whatever. You're picking 31st. You might go best player available, but if there's a really good lineman out there, then I'll go for it. Because here's the other monster that's coming. We got another year and a half maybe, or maybe 2, but there's a big ass check coming around the corner, as we well know.
A note for later in the show. Yeah, but I don't think there's any chance they draft a lineman unless it's that Linderbaum dude from Iowa, the center, who offers no position flexibility. He's only a center. He can't play guard or anything like that.
Right.
And so in that scenario, he's supposed to be the best center, whatever, although they said his measurables are a little shaky because he's tiny. But
and that's a
if
problem.
you wind up with him, then that winds up probably going to left guard, and you don't need Quentin Spain or whatever, at that point. So I can't see. We're gonna talk about the draft here in a second. I just can't. I don't see him drafting a lineman unless it's that dude for a minute, or unless it's just somebody that drops that has like a super first round grade that they lucky to get at 31.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, but this draft. Well, all drafts are important, but this draft is going to be these next couple of drafts going to be really important because, like I said, we're going to need some cheap labor for a while.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I want to get to that. All right. So what's left done for you? Like, all right, the Bengals address their offensive line woes. They bring back Stanley Morgan resigns today for special teams or whatever. Who else did they bring back? Fred Johnson signed and recut again, or signed again. Trey Hopkins, we say goodbye to. I think he has already been cut maybe by the time we had that. Trey Waynes finally gets cut, at the cornerback position. So for you, what is left? Like if they're going to use any of this free agent money, if they don't use it to re-sign Jesse Bates, what is left? Like, is there any free agent position that's out there, or do you address it in the draft? Where do you think they still need help?
I would like to have another cornerback.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a run or a pass coverage cornerback. That's what I would like to address.
Yeah, I would definitely say cornerback as well. Quickly, that is definitely an issue. There's rumors out there that the Bengals are possibly in on Stephon Gilmore, although a lot of the Bengals insiders are saying that that's not the case.
I will.
I mean, you can't. I don't think you can bring back Eli Apple for another season at your starting number 2 for 16, 18 games. I just don't think that's a good idea. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
So if that's the case, then yeah, you probably need a veteran corner, or you're going to have to draft one. I would probably prefer to do both, although I don't know who's actually out there right now that could, satisfy anything like that, except, a Stephon Gilmore. Maybe he, I try to tell Goat Killer all the time, like a lot of these dudes, they've won Super Bowls. So now all they want to do is get a check. He doesn't, Steph Gilmore doesn't need a ring. He got one or 2. So that's not the case for him. So why don't you, allegedly the Raiders are in on him as well. I don't know why you would go to the Raiders. That's not a winning organization anymore. But, but money would be money talk. Bullshit runs a marathon. So I also think they need pass rushing defensive tackle.
That would be nice.
They need another defensive end that can rush the passer. If you're expecting Trey Hendrickson to get 15 sacks again, and for Hubbard to get Hubbard wind up with 8.5. You are, and Joseph Osai is coming. He was really good in the first quarter of a preseason game. come on, man. Like, you need something else. There's a rumor out there that they might be in on Melvin Ingram, but I don't know. You need somebody, and you need it at end and at defensive tackle.
You're going to need, you need to load up on defense. That would be nice to get some cheap labor on defense if you can on the line, whatever. I just looked at somebody. I mean, these mock drafts all over the place, but I saw somebody from Washington. I don't know
The
who
cornerback,
Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, the cornerback, from Washington.
5'11".
They allegedly like him. There's also, Kyler Gordon, I think, is the other dude that they like as well. So, I mean, there's some people out there now that old, I can't remember his name, but that Nigerian dude from Michigan that tore his Achilles in his pro day.
Right.
People are like, get him, and stash him away. That's a Marvin move. That's such a Marvin move. Hey, let's just waste this pick. Yeah, but waste that pick. But yeah, I mean,
David Ojabo.
Yeah, Ojabo. Yeah, I don't trust Michigan players. I just don't.
I
don't trust Michigan players.
That team up north.
So, maybe that's something that you think about. I keep selling Goat Killer. Man, if one of them wide receivers drops to 31, like if Jamison Williams, because of his injury, drop, that's a stash it away later, because obviously you're not going to be able to keep all three of them wide receivers.
Right.
So you
cheap labor.
You could stash that one away, but because he doesn't need to play for your team to be successful.
He's first round. I mean, I understand. That is a great thing. Yeah, one of them three quarter or wide receivers, hell, maybe two of them might not get paid in 2 years. Right. Will not be getting checks from the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, we're gonna get to that in a little bit, but I would definitely see, this draft has them taking McDuffie, who they have them taking at the end of round 2. If you're on YouTube, by the way, subscribe. I don't know who that is. A nose tackle. I don't need a nose tackle.
From Alabama.
No, pass. We need a freaking 3-tech. And that's why I'm not opposed to, when his foot gets cleared, of bringing back Ogunjobi. Bring him back on a 1-year deal. He had 7.5 sacks. He's still trying to get paid. Just bring him back. He's going to be motivated to do that. He's obviously comfortable being here. Bring him back. Him and BJ Hill as a part of your 3-tech defensive rotation on passing downs. You're okay with that. And then now you're looking for is a defensive end that can rush outside, along with Ogunjobi.
If you get a specialist, if you get a specialist or something that just you got them second and long, third long.
Yeah, one of them Carl Lawson dudes, one of them Robert Gathers, for the old school Bengals fans out there. One of those dudes that just come in on third down and rush the pass. That's all we need you to do. Right. That's it. Come in on third down in obvious passing situations to get to the quarterback. Period. So it'll be interesting to see, where they go there. Obviously, tight end is a need now, but I don't think they're going to wind up spinning a tight end until later.
Saw somebody in 4th round for tight end.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right, have a good place for a tight end.
And then if you see this, I mean, I don't think they had them taking an offensive lineman yet.
Yeah.
And you're in round 4.
Yeah, I didn't see one. Tight end, linebacker, defensive, or a nose tackle. Yeah. Where are they going to address it on this thing?
Right.
Not in the 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see him picking up a linebacker unless it's a street free agent. So
right, I don't see them.
Yeah,
we don't have a 6th round pick. Oh, there he is, DeMarco. This is
a linebacker, Appalachian State. We already got one freaking small school dude over there.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah, now I don't see that happening.
They're out of the offensive line business.
Sure.
According to this draft.
I don't know that I would draft one either unless it's just somebody that, I mean, absolutely you can't pass. Like, I can't. I mean, you already have all of those dudes on there. Like, you already have backups everywhere except for center, because that dude from Georgia last year sucked when he played. And I would rather not see him ever again. So you don't really have a backup center at this point. But
right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so Gilmore, maybe Melvin Ingram, something like that. You know, there'll be some hey, I need to play because I need to get checks because I got baby mamas, you
To
know,
take care of and
signing at
right.
somewhere. Yeah, those will come in soon because that's the money starting to dry up here. You know, people get desperate and they'll have to take these 1 year prove it deals. So all right.
Yeah.
Let's swing it around NFL, or excuse me, before we swing around NFL, you talked about the salary cap issues. Okay, so you know, it sounds like if you listen to a lot of the Bengal insider stuff, the Bengals are going to be looking to negotiate Joe Burrow's extension because at the end of this season,
Right.
this is the first year that they could do it. You know, they could push it off to 4 or put him on the thing for 5, but they're
Paying
going to look to try to get in. And to be honest with you, getting in now is going to be cheaper.
cheaper.
So, you know, there's that. T. Higgins will also be up at the end of that season as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he's a 4-year deal, so he still have another year because he was second round pick. But so they'll have another year there, but pushing him another year gets Jamar Chase closer to his 3rd year. So there's going to be Devontae Adams, broke the bank. It's going to probably take that much and then some, to probably keep T. Higgins as well, or Jamar Chase as well, But again, the NFL, all these conservatives, we don't watch the NFL no more. Man, the NFL is making money on top of money on top of money, and then that money's fucking the other one. They got money. The Bengals will have money. The salary cap will be there. The Bengals ain't never had a problem making their quarterback. Like, they made Palmer the highest paid player in the league. They played Andy Dalton his fair share of nut too. They'll get it done. It's just, they'll get it done. I'm not worried.
They'll get it done, but I mean, yeah, that motherfucker is coming due, and I mean, but it ain't my money, but somebody got to go, and it's gonna be ugly.
I've said before, and I'll say it again. We really need Joe Burrow to get a billionaire Brazilian model wife, so he'll just take a discount. That's basically what you need.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I mean, but again, Brady prioritized that too. He knew that if he took that Brady, New England Brady, knew that if he took all of the money, there wouldn't be the supplemental pieces. So he didn't take all the money. He was always one of the, middle of the pack paid quarterbacks.
Right.
But again,
it worked out for him.
Yeah, and his wife, but again, he had all the endorsement deals. His wife's a freaking billionaire. Like, it didn't matter. Now he wants all the money, which it makes sense. But
at the end of his career,
that's fine. But like if Burrow is in that situation, then there's probably he's got Ohio values. There's probably a small portion of him that'll be like, hey, if I take all this money, this ain't gonna work. So he might take, we ain't getting no hometown discount, but he might be like, I don't need $50 million. I'll be good with 40 and save that money for something else. But you will find out eventually. So
we will find out.
It's a mess. It's going to be a mess. But the Bengals are in that position now where they're going to have to start to make some tough choices. And this is, again, by drafting so poorly for the last, 5 of the last 6 years, it's catching up to them. Where they're having to go out and sign free agents and spend more money and, having to turn out dudes. Tyler Boyd's, I think he's up at the end of 24. So you only really got this year and next with Tyler Boyd. He ain't gonna get back. He'll be on the opposite side of 30. That's not going to happen. It sounds like they'll have some money coming off the books at that point where they'll be able to have to make some tough choices. Hell, Jonah Williams is going to be an issue too. He's gonna, after this year, they're going to pick up, exercise his 5th year option. Left tackles, Armstead just signed for $80 million today. He's 35 years old. He's got Pro Bowls or whatever, but left tackles ain't cheap.
Nope.
Even average ones aren't cheap,
Right.
So you're going to have to make some tough
choices
and decisions.
Pony up and kick people out.
Right. And you're going to have to make those decisions, but you also have to draft well. Like, that's it. So I could see the Bengals at 31 trading back, getting an extra 3rd or 4th round pick or whatever it's going to take. And, just start stockpiling players.
Cheap
labor. Throw it against the wall. I got 3 4th rounders. Shit, if 2 of them hit, I'm good. You know what I mean? Yeah, and just go from there. So it'll be interesting to see in that regard. But yeah, it's something else. But I did see allegedly the Bengals have about $13 million of cap space currently left, and that's factoring in, the $2 million plus that it'll take to sign all their draft picks. So they're in, not in bad shape. All right.
Not in bad shape.
No, not at all. All right.
We will
Let's
see.
swing it around the NFL, man, and we've got to stay in the AFC North. Pittsburgh hasn't done anything. That they're they're cashed out. They just can't, even though the money that they got from him. Again, the funny thing is the Steelers run their organization, or the Bengals run their organization like the Steelers. Yep. They just haven't drafted well.
Nope.
That's it. Or they haven't had
their dudes got hurt.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same family-run organization. That's it. They don't have a lot of cash on hand, so they're not going to be signing a bunch of free agents. That's not going to happen. The Steelers fan sign Tyrann Mathieu. Like, yeah, I ain't got the nuts for that. You ain't got the money for it. So good luck with that. So yeah, they're kind of in the same boat as the Bengals are. They lose Juju Smith-Schuster or whatever. He goes to Kansas City. Juju's overrated and sucks.
He is overrated, and when Roethlisberger was good, he covered up a lot of holes. But now he's gone, and I'm looking. I don't know if you're looking at the screen, but
I am. If you're on YouTube, subscribe.
When you're paying linebackers $24 million,
$30 million between two players, yeah.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, look at the cap hit between those two players.
Right. So their 14% is going to a linebacker that gets hurt a lot or is off the field a lot.
Yeah, they're in a rebuild situation. They haven't, said it, but they are. You can't win with Mason Rudolph. Everybody knows this. Even the Steelers do, huh? No, Trubisky, you can't win with him either. No. You ain't winning with the kid from Ohio State. Like, he gonna
get cut. Yeah.
Yeah, they're running out the string. That's for sure. So that's the Steelers. I guess we got to deal with the Browns.
The clowns. They're horrible too.
Look, but all right. So, we'll dip into social issues or whatever here a little bit. We'll dip into some racial issues here too. All right, let's take this. Let's take it from a football perspective. He's a 500 quarterback, like career-wise. Like, he's a 500 quarterback. I know everybody's on his nut sack or whatever, and he led the league in passing when he had, Sammy Watkins or whoever the fuck that was, or DeAndre Hopkins. Like, okay, that's fine. He's still a 500 quarterback. Playing on a team that had a defense with Nam, with at least two Hall of Famers on it.
At least two.
So let's not act like this nigga is like the greatest quarterback to even play in Houston. We'll give that to Warren Moon. Like, so like people need to calm down, like for real. Like 100% they need to calm the fuck down. He's the best quarterback that's been in Cleveland since Bernie Kosar, though. Like, that's for sure. So I can see how everybody's dick riding like that part. However, by saying dick riding, it brings up some issues. And as I said with Cosby when we talked about this however many years ago, let's just say that 50% of them women is making this shit up trying to get a payday. That's still 11 women that he sexually harassed, assaulted.
If 21 of them made it up, then if just one, that's just like aliens. You only need to see one.
Correct. So the league gonna get their pound of flesh, no doubt about it. I don't know how much of a pound, but they gonna get a pound. I don't care what the criminal trial says or they didn't bring charges. They getting their pound, and that pound, the more I read about it, that's probably half a season. They probably gonna get him for 8 games. So
I'm gonna say 6.
Okay, so the Browns gave up 5 picks, 3 first-rounders for a dude that's probably gonna miss half the season, and then guaranteed him $230 million.
Right.
That is probably the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right. But that's where they are. They thought they believed that they were a Super Bowl team.
Right.
and Nick Chubb ain't getting no younger.
No. Yeah.
Right. So and Nick Chubb is where their offense runs through. Literally, once he goes away, they are average as grits.
Average as grits. I mean, they have a good offensive line. They have a good defensive line. They still don't have, freaking Amari Cooper is your number one wide receiver. You're in trouble at this point. So they'll be looking for, a wide receiver. Oh, wait, damn. They don't have a first round pick.
Right.
You it don't make no sense.
They're in. They're all in. They're all stupid. So this has to work out within the next 2 years.
Or or it's just a mess. Yeah, right. You're screwed at that point if it don't work out the first 2 years. You're screwed.
Right, and this year ain't great.
Yeah, and you're screwed. Like coming back into the league, screwed. Like 99 coming back round, screwed. Like you're screwed. So I mean, good luck. I mean, look, Browns fans, and they're probably not listening to this show, but look, this was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. We're going to talk about the Falcons here in a second. The Falcons, I can't even believe that they would have entertained the idea after what happened with Michael Vick. I can't even imagine. Entertain the idea. And y'all went in and saved the Falcons from doing something fucking stupid.
Dumb.
I mean, just absolutely stupid.
Right.
And I don't think any other team, I saw some reporter like, some other team said they would have matched the money or whatever. Nah. That's a lie. That's agent talk.
Right, yeah. Arthur Blank is a businessman, and he knows how to close deals. And all that. I heard a lot of backdoor shenanigans about guaranteeing that $230 million. Even him, I mean, and like I said, he's a little mature now. He wants the Falcons to do well before he crosses forearms. But he's like, man, that's too much even for me.
Yeah, I mean, and again, he's got cash on hand. It wouldn't have been a big deal for Arthur Blank to write that check.
Right. But I
don't know about that. Guaranteed too? That is ridiculous.
Guaranteed money for a dude that, I mean, like I said, he's gonna at least miss. If he has to miss at least 4 games.
At least 4.
Yeah.
I had said 6. I read that article by Jenny Vertis in Sports Illustrated about one of the ladies or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You need to bury that nigga under a jail cell. That's where he need to be. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where he need to be. And I knew, man, tell a story out there.
And so you know what? And somewhere, I bet you one of these women, I bet you he tried to call, one of his people have tried to call these women to try to be like, hey man, let's talk this out and try to pay this down. One of the women probably got recorded somewhere.
Probably. I mean, and he's at that point now where you got to settle. But settling is an implication of guilt.
Right.
So, like, I mean, I don't care.
Just say
no. He shouldn't even be able to sniff the league. Honestly, he shouldn't. Colin Kaepernick protesting, racial injustice, can't get a fucking tryout. But this nigga is getting a whole ass job and $230 guaranteed. Come on, son. That's awful.
Well, Mixon got a problem too, and he didn't. I mean, but yeah, that shit on video.
I ain't holding him to something when he was 19.
Punching a woman on video.
She called him a nigger.
You tell and everybody would be punched. Everybody would be getting punched.
I hear you. I don't disagree with that, but he did pay for that. That's why he went in the second round.
Did he miss some games too?
Oh, he might have missed like early parts of the game, whatever. But he went in the second round because of character concerns,
right?
Because he again was punched. He stiff arm punched him too. It wasn't like
that was a full
105 fingers to the face situation.
Right, that was a solid
he reared
pound.
back.
Right.
Yeah, he reared back.
Some of these, I'm right. There are very few angels in the NFL and in life in general. But but 22 situations, that's serial shit.
That is exactly. This is like, and no offense, Browns fans. This is Kellen Winslow Jr. shit.
Ooh, damn. I forgot about him. And that's how quick Right. And
That 70-year-old lady getting
damn
fuck, yo.
No, but hey, if you win on Sundays, we forget about Monday, I guess. But they ain't got. I don't see them. I mean, they were third place last year.
That's a solid spot for them now too.
Yeah. Hopefully.
On the other side of that is their current quarterback, which is Baker Mayfield.
Well,
Talk about from the outhouse to the shit house.
And nobody wants him.
And don't nobody want him.
Nobody wants it, especially no first round pick.
Number one pick, sir. Not just a first round pick, a number one pick.
A number one pick.
He was the number one pick in that draft.
I'm saying he's 1 of 1, right? But nobody wants him. Nobody. No. And I wouldn't take him for nothing either.
I wouldn't take him either. I wouldn't either. Real talk. That's kind of side brother topic or whatever. Real talk. If he decided to not play no more and go like freaking right wing conservative or whatever, like it won't surprise me. Like if he just tries to pull that shit, like they didn't want me because of my whatever values.
Because I'm white. Because I voted for Trump.
Something like that. You'll see. But anyway,
he is going to get. He will get another chance. Probably with
where?
Donde
está? Where?
Seattle. The Giants. Seattle, the Giants, the Jets. Look, fuck. But
hold on. Can I get time out? You cannot send him to New York. He couldn't handle the media in Cleveland. You can't put him. The New York Daily News will eat him to shreds, Hush.
Yeah. Fuck. I mean, yeah, you're right. He'll get ran, but he's better than the fucking dude that's there now. Both of them. Pick a team in New Jersey.
The first time he has a bad game, they are going to chew him out. Have you seen the articles that the Cleveland was like, yeah, we need an adult to play quarterback?
Yeah, I've seen him. And
he was immature in college.
He still is.
He was immature.
He got
when he came to the league too. And then to me, he's that dude like, oh, they got film on him and people figured him out. Like, oh, he was hurt last year. It wasn't just because he was hurt. They figured him out. Like the league figured him out quick.
And he had a perfect offense.
Right.
Hand it off left, hand it off right.
And don't play action. Don't do anything stupid. And he still did stupid
and
stuff.
You had two good receivers. One, and you fucked that up. He fucked it up.
So I to me, like I don't know. I honestly, I mean, the Browns fucked up. I think they picked up his 5th-year option at $18 million or whatever. So it's going to be a massive cap hit if they cut him, which they're going to have to. At this point, nobody's going to trade him for $18 million. I mean, they can pick up some of the salary, but I don't know where there's a landing spot for him to be the backup.
There's plenty of places. Hell, the Eagles.
Not at $18 million.
Well, not $18 million, but you cut him and then you just bring him in for whatever as a backup for 8, 9. That's what I would do if I had a choice. But I'm not a big fan of Philadelphia's situation.
He cannot go to Philadelphia. He will get eaten alive.
As a backup, he'll be just fine.
He is an antenna quarterback. I don't listen to what's going on out there. He's got his ears open to everything. He's just like Kevin Durant, except not as good. He's reading every tweet. He's reading every tweet, listening to every radio show, reading every news article. He is completely focused on how people perceive him. That is a terrible. Cleveland was bad because they don't really have anything else. Oh, they got the Indians, but they don't really have anything else. What are they not? The Indians.
They got the Guardians.
The Guardians. Thank you. He needed to go to some place that don't live, eat, and breathe football like that. Come to the Dolphins. They don't care here. You can come back up to them.
What about the Texans?
Texans would work, but they don't want him because they would have traded him with that. They would have put him in the deal with freaking whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
They don't want him.
Well,
they don't want him.
There's a space for him somewhere to get a second chance. Just put some cotton in your ears.
He ain't. If Seattle wanted him, they already had him. No, he's gonna have to go somewhere. No, he's gonna have to go somewhere where there's an already unquestioned established starter, unquestioned, where he's just going to sit there and hold that clipboard. And so you'd have to be looking at spots that would be looking at a quarterback like that, where it's unquestioned. Same to Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa.
Where he sits
Yeah,
there
that's a
and
good
learn.
place for him.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because ain't nobody gonna be thinking about his ass unless Brady goes down.
Oof.
Where he can learn, get a professional, education, a great coach, an great offensive coach to try to, salvage his career. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. He can't go anywhere where people are like, wishy-washy on the quarterback situation. It's like, oh man, he'll go back to Texas, go to Dallas. Because as soon as Dak has a bad game, everybody's gonna be calling for him.
He ain't going to Dallas. But
No,
Houston,
ain't gonna be Dallas.
I see Houston.
Somebody mentioned Detroit. I heard earlier too. I'm like, I guess that would work, but
Jared
that's that nobody will care. They wear they wear paper bags there too, so it wouldn't matter in that regard. But once they start losing, which they will, he's the ultimate front runner, man. Like that's no.
He was in front and he still fucked up.
Yeah, he's just when everything's good, he's good. When everything's bad, it's everybody else's fault. Yep.
Cleveland definitely. I think Cleveland had the best 53-man lineup last year, and
they were solid.
That up. Yeah, and he got hurt, fucked up, lost that Chiefs game. That was awful, and it just kept going rolling downhill from there.
Wow. All right. Well, now we got to talk about this. It's local and it's not.
Great.
Got to talk about the Falcons, which is will not be a landing spot for Baker Mayfield because they signed Marcus Mariota. Right. Matt Ryan, 14 years, face of the franchise, Matty Ice.
The best player they've had. Yeah.
Shit, I was there for half his career, at least.
I've been there for all of it.
You've been there for all of it. I mean, gets traded to the Colts, 3rd round pick.
Giving away to
Falcons
the Colts.
Taking a $40 million cap hit.
Right.
For a player not on the team.
The most expensive player on the team is
largest cap hit ever.
Yep.
Again, okay, Colts. Hey, if that's what you want, have him hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. Do some play action. He could do that at this point. A lot of people are like, oh no, he'll be great in that or whatever. Like Matt Ryan's a lightweight turnover machine at this point in his career. Because he's
getting killed, they have no offensive line.
I understand, and he has a Pro Bowls or a couple of Pro Bowlers there, so that's fine. But
one of your best wide receiver quit.
Yeah.
Slash is gambling on games.
Yeah, gambled us out of the league. I just from an Atlanta perspective, like him being gone is not good. He represented the franchise in the post Michael Vick era in the best way possible. Now, again, if you ever lived or had a thought of living in Atlanta, I don't think you understand how much people love Michael Vick. There's a bunch of people that hated him after what happened, but Michael Vick was literally an experience.
Yeah.
You got the stoic, vanilla big man come in after that, and he was good from the start. He was good from a rookie. Like he was just that. He was always going to be that quarterback that he was going to need almost everything to go perfectly for you to win a championship. Like he was our Andy Dalton, a little bit better, a little bit stronger arm, but essentially the same thing. Like everything's going to need to go right. And it did for one season and 3/4 of football. Everything went right.
Right.
But then once that didn't work, it was a wrap after that, like it just was. And to see him traipsing around in a Colts uniform in the fall is going to just be weird AF.
It will be weird. It will.
How you feel about that?
It's going to be weird, but it's going to be weird. But after you saw Tom Brady in the Tampa Bay uniform, I saw Joe Montana in a Kansas City uniform. That's this game has gotten more ruthless. It's gotten a little bit softer on the field, but it's more ruthless in the business
The
room.
business part,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, the business part is they are definitely cutting nuts.
Yeah.
And
It's just, and I get that part of it. I understand. I saw him and his kids getting off a plane. They had their number 2 Ryan jerseys for the Colts. I was just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. You know, it's just
the
terrible.
world.
Yeah, it is. And I and again, does he make the Colts measurably better? No.
Well, I think he just he's better than Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but
and
I mean,
and all they needed was they got 4 free games in their division.
Right. Yeah. Houston definitely gave up.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to win 6.5, 7 more somewhere.
Right.
And that's all you got to do.
I know I get that part. But I don't know. I think people are like, oh man, he's like so good or whatever. I'm like, man, y'all haven't been watching Matt Ryan, boy. He used to be Matty Ice at the end of games. Like, oh, he is definitely driving them down the field and getting a field goal or a touchdown. Now it's like that's a pick 6. You just waiting for it to happen, man. Like he's gonna throw that interception in the game or during the. I mean, he was just an interception. He liked to throw some untimely.
Well, he got tired of getting hit. He was getting right. There's a couple of they were playing some videos where they was like one lineman would just kept fucking up. And he was like, man, get it together. I mean, he lost it for a second.
Yeah.
But crushed.
But I am of the belief that, he's taken so many hits over 14 seasons, and he's got, unfortunately, what we're trying to avoid with our quarterback, muscle memory. And so you start seeing ghosts.
Yeah,
and
right.
So, you just start throwing it where it shouldn't be thrown. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. Again, another quarterback to the AFC, good for him. The NFC, I mean, can you just write Tampa Bay also into the playoffs already too? Because the NFC South, which we play, is one of the worst divisions in football.
It is.
I mean, it's awful. I mean, who's the quarterbacks? Jameis, Brady,
right? Mariota.
No, Mariota and
the Falcons.
Who's the other? And Sam Darnold.
Right, and he might not be there for NFL either.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not a good spot for Baker either, because they again, we talked about this on the previous podcast. I think at this point, like teams are recognizing, like if you don't have that dude, like you can't win. So like Carolina's probably going to be like, you know what, we'll probably take our chance on a draft pick, hoping that we can get that dude as opposed to bringing in Baker, which we know is not that good.
Right. You don't You're not going to pay somebody. You don't want to pay anybody $20+ million to be 3rd and 4th place.
Correct. Or to go 8-8, which is the worst that you could possibly do too.
8-9,
giving you false hope every season, or 8-9, or 9-8.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're 9-8, I mean, but you don't make the playoffs. I guess that's pretty much.
Yeah, but if you're 9-8,
you're in the middle of the pack. Yeah. You're gonna be middle of the draft. You're fucked.
Yes. Yeah, it's like the
NBA.
The Hawks, making the Hawks, being the 8th seed every year. Like that didn't do you any good. You got to lose to get a real good player. So, all right.
And you still got to pick rate. Yeah. But the Colts, I'm looking at their schedule. They got to play the Chiefs and the
AFC
Chargers.
West.
Right, but they also
Denver, also Raiders. Yeah, but then they play the NFC East, which is ass off.
Right, so I can pencil them into they might be a challenge for that. Then the playoff spots in the AFC are going to be a mother blanket. You better win your division.
Yeah, win your division. Yeah, win your division.
Win your division. That's the best.
Yep. Yeah, especially you, Cincinnati. All right, man. So that's gonna wrap us up. You got extra music? Any thoughts?
Damn, I did have a song. OPP. Other people's players.
Linemen. Yeah, other people's players. Their linemen. Yeah. Okay. It's just playing musical trivia here. Tretch wrote damn near everything for damn near everybody in the 90s.
I kind of knew
Google if you Google songs written by Tretch for other people or raps written by Tretch for other people, he wrote a whole bunch of other people's stuff.
Yeah.
And so I hope he's living somewhere off those residuals. Because I didn't know until much later in life that Tretch was doing that, you know.
Oh,
Also,
boy.
same story. Well, there's a weird story. I wasn't there, obviously, but my damn. So it would have been like 92 or 3. They should have been really popular then. They came and did Homecoming at Edinburgh. Um, Naughty by Nature in 92 or 93. And my buddy, my roommate was well, he's like dude, so he was doing like security or whatever for them, and he smoked out with him. So he tells that story, which was nice. But
well, do you see Tretch's
but
value?
also, why was Naughty by Nature playing at Edinburgh?
I just put up his value for what it's worth. Yeah.
$2 million. That's not bad.
Yeah.
You have to see. You have to do another Google search to see, you know, stuff that he's written. So get the screen out of there. It's not what we talk about. So anywho, all right. So OPP will be the lead out song on on the podcast version of this. So we'll be back, you know, emergency pod, you know, Bengals signed Stephon Gilmore, Melvin Ingram, and Geno Atkins. All right, hey man, we're gonna come back and we'll be
Geno ain't coming crazy. Back.
That ain't happening. Yeah, Geno's retired.
That ain't happening.
Yeah. And I don't think either of them other is a little over a month away at this point. So yeah, or a little under a month, excuse me. So we'll be getting draft ready, seeing what happens with the Bengals, and yeah, man. All right. OPP, how can I explain it? I'm the producer of this podcast, and I'm signing off. Hunch, go ahead and sign off.
Good night to all you happy people.
We'll see everybody whenever we see you. Peace.
Peace.